Hey there everyone, it's AJ and I am back with another video, and in today's video you are going to watch me bring to life a character from my A Collision of Worlds series. Now this is actually a picture of her a little bit older than when you would have read about her in the series, and she's gone through a little bit of a transformation. I'm not going to go into too much details about who she is in the story or anything like that because I don't want to actually spoil it. But as you can see here, I did the initial sort of sketch and I was really happy with the sort of way I managed to get the head and everything as well. I kind of got this sort of melancholy type look to her. And as you can see, she's kind of got sort of a side parting of hair with one side of the head either shaved or something's happened, which means that she's transformed into this sort of beautiful half dragon type character thing. I don't want to go in again into too much detail, but yeah, so this is her a little bit older, and I've got her sort of like with side parted hair because I really like that sort of look. I felt that it would be quite nice to do, and yeah, I'm actually really happy with the sort of proportions to this piece, as well as the things like the eyes and the nose. I think I did a great job getting that sort of there with that, and I quite like the sort of details that I got with the scales as well, and the little like sort of horns and stuff like that. Oh, little, I don't know what to call them, accents, are they? Would you call them horns on a cheekbone? I'm not 100% sure, but in this piece I can really see that I was sort of like thinking in 3D as well, so it doesn't just look flat. You can like see the different planes and things like that, which has really helped. I really did go into detail with the scales because I really wanted that to be the sort of almost focal point, because it's something that is quite prevalent on her, and something that you wouldn't necessarily see. I mean, you don't really ever see anybody walking down with scales on the side of their faces, do you? So it's a sort of thing. The sort of jacket robe thing was quite a challenge to do because I had quite large sort of space to really work with, so I wanted to do just like a simple-ish design, but one that kind of broke up some of the really large spaces. That's where I got this sort of idea of these sort of diagonal, they're diagonal, sort of triangular type shapes and stuff with that. So that sort of really helped, I believe, sort of give that sense of thing. I am doing the Udemy course, which I mentioned in my last video. By the way, you should go and check that out. And I actually really am learning quite a lot from it. So I'm going to hopefully be able to do something. Now, I am thinking of making this piece an actual print, just so that you are aware. In the new year, I'm looking to launch a sort of shop, and I've been trying to find or make things that would make a really good, decent print. And this is one of those, I think, that when you get to the end of it, you'll see I really do like how it turned out, the colours that I chose and things like that as well. The background, I did a sort of just simple-ish, sort of, I say simple-ish, it looks quite complicated. I mean, I used a ruler and everything as well. But I just did a door background, and I really like these sort of compositions where you don't necessarily do the whole entire background, and it's kind of a bit sort of framey. So I've kind of done it so that there's a bit of direction, as though she's walking like away. The door frame sort of frames the one side of it, but then the other you can't really see anything, and I'd leave that space sort of like negative so that you can sort of see that. And I really wanted to show the sketch phase in this because I felt that I did a great job, and then I moved on to the watercolour. And for this, I initially did a light ink wash of the sepia ink, which is something that I've been doing a lot, and I really do like that. It kind of allows me to really, it kind of just makes the colours pop a little bit more, I find. I use watercolour over the base of this as well in order to do the sort of colour, and I wanted a sort of icy type blue sort of thing going on with her hair and the scales. I almost wanted it to show that almost the scales might be an extension of her sort of hair, as it were. So they were the similar sorts of colours that you might expect. So obviously, if a creature that had scales, for example, let's say a crocodile had scales, then maybe if they actually ended up having hair, if that was hair instead of it might have been that sort of colour. So that's the sort of way I was going and thinking with that. But I actually managed to get quite a bit of detail with these, and I really did focus. I think I spent probably a good hour and a half, 2 hours doing it. I didn't want to overwork it because it can start to buckle. I'm not using proper watercolour paper, but mind you can't really tell. It does buckle a little bit, but once it dries, it kind of properly flattens out. I mean, it is a decent quality paper. Don't get me wrong. Here I'm going over and doing a sort of the skin type tone, which I ended up blending out and kind of like changing and stuff. So it's kind of interesting. I actually really enjoyed doing this with having the sepia behind it as well. Really helps kind of give that sort of tone type thing as well. Decided to make a lip stand out, and I gave her a bit of blush, but I think I gave her a bit too much blush. I think later on you will see me go over that a bit more and sort of work on that with her sort of clothes. I kind of didn't really want to go into too much detail on it. I wanted the sort of focal point to be her face and her scales. So I kind of didn't really go into too much detail. I just kind of sort of did light washes and things like that, and just really went to town with getting the detail on the. Here I'm starting to add a bit of shading to the piece, which I really did enjoy doing, and the sort of scales. Because I did almost every individual scale, this was a bit of a challenge because I had to sort of really make sure that it wasn't too much. And then I did like the sort of strands of hair, just going in, sort of building up the shades. With watercolour, you tend to have to start really light before you can build up to the sort of darker tones. So, and you only really have like 3 pushing 4 maybe layers of watercolour to be able to do that with. So, getting a decent sort of thing there. Here I'm adding some shading to the actual attire, and as I say, I'm just sort of like doing that a bit sort of broader strokes and things. The door, I didn't add too much detail to the door because obviously it's behind her, so I didn't want that to overpower her. But I think I did a great job with this sort of like just touching and adding the sort of effects to that, as it were. And yeah, so I'm just really sort of happy with how this turned out, and I hope you enjoyed watching it too, and me going through it whilst I do that. So just so that you are aware, I am planning on making a newsletter, just so that it's something that I've got to provide regular sort of news on for. I don't really tend to do that many sort of. I would like to blog, but it's sort of a bit of a challenge getting this sort of thing there. So I think at least starting with a newsletter, like once every couple of months or something like that, would really help me get a sort of push. But yeah, hopefully you will have enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed making it. If you like this video, please hit that like button. Also, leave me a comment. Tell me what you thought. I really do appreciate every comment that is posted. Also, if you want to see more videos like this, please do hit that subscribe button, as well as the bell notification to be notified as and when I post videos. I do try to post videos. Well, I say try to. I've actually been doing quite well with this. I post a video on Saturday every 2 p.m. British time. So that is, and I've kind of really stuck with that. I think I've missed once, and that's about it. But really have been enjoying getting these videos out there, and it's coming up to quite a long stretch of time that I've been doing this for now. So thank you whoever does watch my videos. Please go check out the video that I posted the other last week, as well as other videos. I've got some sort of playlists as well that you can go and check out with various different things, like a time-lapse playlist, and also my sort of AJ Talks and Draws playlist. So as I say, until next time, I'll see you later.